The New England Patriots absolutely dominated in this year's NFL draft, going from 9 picks to 11 picks, but as well getting a bunch of key assets that are going to greatly help in this rebuild. But there's one big thing that I feel like a lot of people have somewhat ignored when it comes to a lot of these draft picks, and we're going to jump into that right now. And if you haven't watched this show at all, my name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk New England, new brand. Let's go, baby. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below. So we're going to jump right into it. We look at this draft class, and not only are they getting key assets that are going to help, obviously, on the line, as a specialties player, so wide receiver, running back, whatever it might be, but as well a shift in talent, but as well a shift in the culture. So they brought in, and Mike Vrabel brought in a lot of culture guys on top of guys that are going to greatly help on the field. So case in point, we're going to jump right into this graphic right here. So this is everyone who is drafted. First and foremost, Will Campbell. He was captain for LSU, also held the honor of having the number 7 on his jersey, which essentially means in LSU, it's a very an honor that's taken on by a person that not only individually is great, but lifts others up as well. So Will Campbell, culture fit, boom. First and foremost, Travion Henderson. This past year, he was a captain on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Not only that, but he did a lot of great things off the field when it came to whether it was his faith or different aspects where he was lifting other people up. So great teammate, earning the role of as captain. As well, we look at someone like Craig Woodson, who's a safety that it seems like the Patriots might have billed as a nickel back, a slot back. So we look at him. He was a 2-time captain at Cal. And so we look at all these different players, and not only are you getting players that are going to come in and immediately, hopefully, a lot of these guys have an immediate impact on this team, but it's also a culture shift in this locker room. You go from a team last year that it was toxic. You heard all these rumors in drama where it was, whether it was Matthew Judon, he's not gonna participate, and then kind of his body language with Gerard Mayo when they were at training camp, and all these other issues, as well as people getting benched and then posting stuff on Instagram or whatever it might be. A culture that was for sure toxic, I think we could all agree, to a culture where it's, listen, we are going to have expectations. Listen, we are going to lift each other up, and we are going to give our best on the field. And when you have more people in place on a team that have that positive mindset, that aren't all about them, but are about others and lifting them up, that is going to be huge for a rebuild culture. So this is one thing that, people haven't necessarily talked about. Obviously Craig Woodson is one of those players who was drafted a little later. I believe he was the fifth round. That sounds right. He was a 5th round pick. And so those things aren't necessarily always brought up. But again, you're bringing in guys that are good character guys that are going to come in. And even if there's guys that are coming in that are somewhat questionable, that hopefully their positive attitude, their leadership roles are going to hopefully rub off on these other people. And listen, again, this is a storied franchise. You want to bring in people like this that are going to help out, going to bring up this team. So what do you think? Comment below. I would love to hear from you. And granted, those were the ones that I heard, that I looked up. There could be other ones on this list that have done the same. But again, bringing in good character people is a great bonus for a team that's in a rebuild. Players that aren't only about them, but are about others. Huge, huge thing that I feel like a lot of people have not been talking about with this draft class. Now, as we look at this draft class, a couple of things I want to talk about that we haven't talked about already, because we basically got to Jared Wilson, which was the Patriots' last pick in the 3rd round. First of all, best center on the board. Video coming out on him soon. Expect him to potentially make a big impact going into this first year. Now, he only started 1 year at Georgia, but still, crazy speed, great off the ball, a lot of potential. A very, very underrated pick for the Patriots. But we move on. You look at Craig Woodson, safety, billed possibly as a slot or a nickel. 2-time captain, brings a lot to the table. Joshua Farmer, guy we've talked about a lot, big interior defensive tackle, good rotational piece. Because again, if you have Milton Williams as well as Christian Barmore, you don't need to necessarily bring in another starter. You need someone who's going to be able to rotate in there and get some snaps under their belt and give those other guys some rest. So big pickup. I think that's smart. And hopefully, I know some people pointed out, well, he's shown to be lazy at times on film. Hopefully, again, we talk about these guys who are coming in with big character, that they can help players like that lift them up. And again, he could have great, I don't know. But people that have those thoughts on Farmer, hopefully those can be recorrected as well. Braden Swinson, great edge rusher out of LSU. Again, pretty sweet that you got Will Campbell's teammate coming in. We needed an edge rusher. That's good. Borgalis, kicker. Again, I said Ben Sauls, but Borgalis, a lot of people had billed as the best kicker in this draft. So great pickup. Knew that was coming. I told you guys, listen, they're going to get a kicker at some point in this draft, especially after they got 2 extra picks when they were playing chess, not checkers, and they were able to get Borgalis. Smart move. Marcus Bryant, he played on the left side. Membu at Missouri played on that right side. Great pickup. Again, more of a depth piece for this organization. Moving forward, you don't want to go into a season where you're relying on other teams' practice squads, which seemed like it happened last year. So great pickup by the Patriots getting another offensive tackle. This was a wild one. Julian Ashby, long snapper. I don't know if I can remember the last time a long snapper was drafted, but now you know that he is going to be taking over the role of, man, I should know his name at the top of my head. I don't, unfortunately. Oh, come on. Sorry. For all the people who say, Aaron, you suck at scrolling, I know I do. Come on. Let's refresh it real quick. Cardana. There we go. Joe Cardana. So, and he's been there I forgot he's been there for a while, since 2015. So, again, a lot of times hang in there. They have a long shelf life if they do a good job. But again, he's in his, I believe, early 30s. So it's about that time. Interesting move to get him this in the draft. Usually it's picked up as an undrafted free agent, but do what you got to do. And then last but not least, Mr. Irrelevant, Kobe Minor out of Memphis. Good pickup. Again, I'm not surprised they end up going to get a cornerback because, again, you have issues with Carlton Davis. It makes you wonder, too, if with Alex Austin and Marcellus Dial, maybe they have questions when it comes to depth for that cornerback position. So you look at the cornerback position and you look at Austin Alex, and then you look at as well, man, where's Dials at? He was on here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Marcellus Dial, my fault. He was at that right cornerback position. And then Isaiah Bolden, also another guy who's incredibly athletic. So again, with these other people, who's going to make the 53-man roster, who will not? Obviously, if you're a 7th-round pick, it's not as likely. But who knows? We're going to have a lot to talk about coming up into this training camp and all this fun stuff, and a lot more to pour into in this draft as we break down player by player. But again, beginning of the episode, what do you think about this culture shift? Do you really think the Patriots won on that front when it came to this draft? Do you think that this is going to be big moving forward in this rebuild for the Patriots? Or maybe you disagree. Who knows? So comment below. Tell me what you think. I think it's a big deal, and I think it's huge. So tell me what you think. Love you guys. My name's Aaron. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.